ticketfm.com.
This is the Happy Hour.
Happy hour?
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America.
Yeah, I'll come for a couple.
Here are your hosts, Nick Sainert.
I want to know what it's like to commit a crime without having to spend time in jail.
And Enrique Alvarez Clary.
C is for chunk.
Brought to you by Empire Fence and Netting on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
That's right. It's a new open. It's Friday. We're ready for the weekend. Got plenty of stuff coming up on the docket this weekend. Husker men's basketball, Husker women's basketball, gymnastics. You heard from Heather Brink earlier this morning on the drive with AD and Raph. Good afternoon. Happy Friday. It's the Happy Hour. 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Nick Sainert with you as usual, but Rico decided to dip out, and as you guys know, he threw a little bit of a fit yesterday. Not really. He threw a little bit of a claim that he was going to go to the press conference, and at the end of the day, I said, all right, man, go ahead. It was funny. I am joined by Austin Orman. Austin, what's up? Oh.
Oh, here we go. Hi. Yeah, Rico's been learning too much from his kids instead of the kids learning from Rico if he's throwing a fit.
So here's what happened. I mean, you guys kind of know the deal yesterday because we talked about it and we hashed it out live on air. Byron, in all honesty, neither am I, but, you know, we're not pig beggars can't be choosers. Here's the deal with Rico. So we hashed it out on air yesterday about the whole press conference thing. Then I kind of got the hint over the last 12 hours or so what the announcement was going to be. And he comes into work this morning. He's like, all right, so who's going to go to the press conference? I was like, you can have it.
You are. You said you wanted to go.
Go ahead. You can have it. And he was like, wait, I was expecting more of a fight. And I said, go ahead. You can have it, man. So we will hear from the director of athletics, Trev Alberts, here momentarily. Maybe not on the station necessarily, but he will be addressing it. They released what the layout is going to be like. If you have not been paying attention or not been on social media or on the radio for the last 2 hours or so, Nebraska volleyball is going to be playing a volleyball match in Memorial Stadium, which is awesome for the sport, awesome for Husker fans. The layout, it's going to kind of be trademarked as Volleyball Day in Nebraska. And basically, it's going to happen on August 30th. And you're going to say, oh, no, it's football season. Do not fear. The Huskers open up their season the following evening on the road at Minnesota. They start the season with 2 road games at Minnesota and at Colorado before returning home and playing Louisiana Tech. So Nebraska volleyball will play on August 30th. That their game will be at their game's at 6:30 or 7?
4:30 and then 7.
4:30 for an exhibition between Wayne State and UNK. And then at 7 p.m., it's Nebraska versus Omaha. So not necessarily the most exciting matchup, but let's call it what it is and be honest with it. It's to get the sellout record, or it's to get the attendance record.
Yep.
And they are going to blow it out of the water, and they're going to achieve their goal. They sent out the pictures of what the layout is going to be like. It's going to take up about 70 yards of the football field, to where there's going to be a concert as well to follow Nebraska's match. And this is where we need your guys' help. 402-464-5685, the Honda of Lincoln hotline, the Starter Heyman text line. Who do you want to see at the concert? Now, understanding that it's probably going to be more of a kid, family-friendly atmosphere. So that initially tells me it's not going to be anybody in the hip-hop or rap game.
I do like where your head was at.
You like Post Malone?
Out. I think that'd be dope.
I think Post Malone would be awesome.
I think Jason Derulo is more likely.
But is that once
but not much better.
Friendly?
Not much better.
If
arguably worse in some ways.
If we were in 2011, Jason Derulo is all in.
Oh yeah,
I'm all in on Jason.
Hashtag
Derulo.
all in.
All in. Exactly. Now, there's been a name that's been floated out. Chris Stapleton is a name that's been floated out.
Yeah, okay.
I know he's coming to Omaha in July, I want to say. Now, this understands, or this leads me to believe, since it's going to be a family-friendly atmosphere, it's probably going to be a country concert. Now, they did say, though, that it's a nationally recording artist. So it's gonna. You would hope it's gonna be a big name.
Okay.
I don't see Garth Brooks coming back.
Not
That
again.
would
Not
be
this
awesome, though.
soon.
That'd be so cool. I love that
My wife and I
concert.
went to that. The tickets cost less than the bus passes did.
No way.
Yeah. We got tickets for, what was it? I think we got tickets for $5 each, and the bus passes were $10 each.
That's insane. So Ryan on the text line says Brantley Gilbert and Jason Aldean.
Someone named Zach Bryan is playing PBA on August 29th this year.
Zach Bryan's a country singer. I know a lot of females enjoy Zach Bryan.
Would he play back-to-back PBA and Memorial Stadium?
I don't think because that would you would struggle to. And is he a nationally recording artist?
I don't know. I'm just looking at the event schedule to see if anyone could double dip.
It's got to be somebody. I mean, the idea of Tech 9, because John Cook is friends with Tech 9, and they created that masterpiece, which is Red Kingdom.
Husker Power.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, there's that option, but I don't know. 402-464-5685 on the Starter Heyman Jewelers video stream. BJ Arroyo says One Direction. Matt on the text line. Just because we're in Nebraska doesn't mean we have to have a country artist. Hey. I want Post Malone. I would 100% go to a Post Malone concert.
I mean, the basketball opening night has pulled some names.
Yes.
So you can get people here for stuff like this.
You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Tyler says Zach Bryan is huge around the country.
I know John Cook's a Pearl Jam guy.
Do you see it being a rock concert?
I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there. I just know John Cook's a Pearl Jam guy.
So John Cook's a Pearl Jam guy. I just knew John Cook was a Tech 9 fan.
That too.
Because he's friends with them. Which still is the weirdest collab in all of sports.
It's true.
But
weirder than the Pac-12 and
Ion?
That's out of the running now.
Ion's dead?
Yes.
No!
Yes, this was tweeted by Stuart Mandel says Ion/Script Sports is not involved in the Pac-12's TV negotiation. A source with direct knowledge of the situation.
No!
The Athletic.
No.
So Ion's out. Sorry.
I want USA to get involved.
Yep.
Or A&E.
Yep.
So that way we can go from an episode of Law and Order Special Victims Unit into welcome in. This is Utah, Washington State, or an episode of Storage Wars into is Storage Wars still going on?
I think so. I haven't heard it's not going on.
Storage Wars into Arizona and Oregon. This is the Pac-12 football on A&E. I think it'd be great.
It looks like it's still going.
Storage Wars is still alive. But I think I don't know. I just so is it Apple TV is the only player?
I mean, that's the only person that we've heard of still in it.
They're just gonna mess around, like some company, whether it's Apple TV or Ion Television or USA, is going to just mess around and just be like, yeah, I guess we'll kind of just throw a line in the water. And they're going to get it for some dirt cheap deal. And it's going to be like, okay, here we go, I guess.
At this point, if you're the Pac-12, do you just dissolve to stop getting embarrassed?
Well, I think you've already gotten embarrassed, though.
That's what I'm saying, to stop getting embarrassed. I mean, like you said, you're not going to be anywhere near what even the Big 12 and the ACC are in terms of TV dollars. You're losing your two biggest brands. Just get it over with. Just blow it up because your commissioners have been bad.
Well, and I don't even know if this is the commissioner's fault.
Well, it's Larry Scott's fault, and George Kliavkov hasn't done much to pick it up. He
hasn't, but that was also why you were like, you let a guy from MGM Grand kind of be the commissioner, and that's where it's so interesting with the Big Ten Conference because now they have to find a commissioner, and I'm like, please don't take anybody from a casino, don't take anybody from the gaming commission, please don't. Just go get Jim Phillips. He's the easy grab. Just go get Jim Phillips. He's a Northwestern guy. He's done fine in the ACC. He hasn't really been there long enough to where he can make a substantial impression. So just grab Jim Phillips and let's go. Let's move on with this thing. Bring Oregon, Utah, Washington, and I like Oregon State, but Stanford, I guess, would probably be the other one. So
Oregon State would give Nebraska fans too many headaches.
Yeah, that's true.
I understand where you're coming from, but the greater Nebraska listening area will do everything
like Oregon State.
No.
I don't know. Like they're not going to have him in 3 years, but they have DJ Uiagalelei right now.
They do.
I love their head coach, Jonathan Smith.
I thought he was a dark horse for Nebraska, except again,
really
the memes.
Yeah. Unfortunately, so Jonathan Smith was such an interesting conversation with Oregon State because you had a situation to where it was like, yeah, we're just going to kind of move on from, was it Gary Anderson, the former Wisconsin coach. We're just going to move on from him, and I don't really know where we go, but we're going to get this first-time head coach in Jonathan Smith.
Who at least had ties there.
Yeah, he had ties, and then it was like, so I did this 2018 coaching carousel spreadsheet. It's because I was Scott Frost, and it was Dan Mullen and
Chip
Kelly and Jonathan Smith. And I remember making that like in 2019, like, who's this Jonathan Smith guy? They're paying him $1.3 million a year to coach Oregon State. And it was like, holy cow, this guy's doing just fine. Like, he's building a program. He was 500. He made a bowl game, and then he got the extension, and now he's a well-paid coach for where he's at in Oregon State. And he's a first-time head coach as well.
Is there a weirder figure in coaching than Gary Anderson? 2 years at Utah State, goes to Oregon State, just walks away from it to go to Wisconsin. He's at Wisconsin like, yeah, this just isn't for me. Steps away.
That was so weird.
Or no, that was backwards. Sorry. Utah State leaves for Wisconsin.
Yep.
Steps away. Now I'm going to go to Oregon State. Then just middle of the season, steps away from Oregon State. Now this isn't for me.
Yeah.
I'm just done with
going to
this.
be done.
And then he's back at Utah State.
Is that where he's at?
Yes.
Jeez.
Or that's where he was. He was there for 2 more years, and he hasn't coached since then.
Yeah, he just needs to be done coaching. Back on the concert conversation, somebody says Kelsey Ballerini. I would not be opposed to Kelsey Ballerini. We're kind of jumping from conversation to conversation here. We got to get out of here in a moment. Maddie's dad asks, Nick, did you let Rico have his way? Yeah, it's fine. He's at the press conference. He'll have a good time.
One of these, you just hand the kid the candy bar.
He'll tweet a couple things. I will be good to go. Trevolution says so he says, Nick, USA Network actually wouldn't be too bad. They have the Premier League, so the transition from football to football writes itself.
Okay.
He says, plus the soccer games in the morning would get over right before the college football kicks off. Not in the Pac-12, unfortunately, though, because you're playing at like 9 p.m. So the USA. So it's going to be, you got a full day of programming on the USA Network. First off, it's Chelsea and Liverpool. Then it's a marathon of Law and Order Special Victims Unit. Before at 7 p.m. Central Time, it's Oregon State and Arizona. DJ Uiagalelei versus whoever Arizona's quarterback is. I'm watching.
Sign me up for it. Sign me up.
That is like the bettor's dream. Whoever the degenerate
ultimate
gambler,
sickos.
Yeah, degenerate gambler wherever you may be. And I'm not saying this is a bad thing. Just flip on a little Law and Order SVU and then hit up Oregon State, Arizona at 10 p.m. Central Time, and it'll be right all one-stop shop for criminal and or for crime and for sports. Their viewing pleasures.
Crime and sports. What's the difference?
Especially nowadays with the NIL.
Strickland can get into that next week with the first regulations getting handed down.
Yes.
That's on the docket for next week.
Okay, well then I'll wait to talk about it. But just to kind of give it a brief mention, Haley and Hannah Cavender, who are 2 women's basketball players, they played at Fresno State last season. This season they play at Miami, and they're sisters. And they had dinner at John Ruiz's house, who's the big donor for Miami. Obviously paid the Cavender twins.
Nigel Pack.
Yeah, Nigel Pack from Kansas State, which can you imagine what Kansas State would be like? They had Nigel Pack.
Woo.
Nigel Pack, as a freshman last year, averaged like 24 points for the Wildcats. Ended up going to Miami on like a $220,000 NIL deal and a couple cars as well, from John Ruiz as well. So he's their big booster. Ended up breaking some of the rules because he decided to tweet out a picture. So let's go ahead and get to break. When we come back, it's time to talk to our usual Friday guest. Zack Carpenter of Inside Nebraska will join me. Got plenty of stuff to break down, whether it's we're going to talk Carter Nelson in Ainsworth. We're going to talk about how they balance the whole Dylan Raiola recruitment and Danny Kalin recruitment out at Bellevue West, because as we know, athletes and recruits like to feel like priorities. They want to feel like they are a priority. And Nebraska is in a really weird situation now to where you have a 4-star quarterback just 40 miles away in Bellevue, and then you have to deal with the number 1 overall player in the country as well. So we'll talk about all that and more coming up with Zack Carpenter of Inside Nebraska. Coming up next on the Happy Hour on the Ticket.
Follow Nick and Enrique on Twitter at Nick_Sainert and at Radio Rico AC. More of Happy Hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC in Louisville. As we roll into the year, we continue to get plenty of new 2023 inventory and have a great selection of used vehicles. And if we don't have what you want, we can put a new vehicle order in for you. We also have 2.9% financing right now on select Chevy and GMC new models. So step on in and make that short drive to Louisville or check us out online at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did.
You were almost home when suddenly you find yourself battling off the germs that cause sore throats. Luckily, you've been training for this moment by staying up to date on vaccinations, washing your hands, disinfecting surfaces at home, and avoiding touching your face. And thanks to the cool tips at catchgoodhealth.org, you're on your way to being the very best at staying well. Don't let it damage your health this cold and flu. Instead, train to .org.
Auto Cure and letting you know this is a great place to superior service via 408-934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off mentioned in this ad, and for sure your mother be
Prep, Brent is the place to call. To set up a quote or learn more, call Brent Excavating at 402-474-4113 or go to BrentExcavating.com. They're also hiring, so join the team today. Brent Excavating, a part of the Bauer brand, who reminds you, go big Brent.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful.
I absolutely love my ring. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman.
Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
Yeah, it was great.
We're definitely coming back.
Sure. Sauter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. SauterHeyman.com.
Too many people believe that chronic pain, allergies, or illness are permanent and something you're stuck with. Novotny Nutrition and Wellness has been proving that narrative wrong for 29 years and changing lives for the better in the process. They're trained in the newer, most advanced pain-relieving techniques and ways to deal with toxins, allergies, pollution, and emotion that make you ill. Call today for a free consultation at 531-254-5695 or go to NovotnyNutritionandWellness.com. Novotny
Box store, Play It Again Sports is your place to go for all spring sports equipment for baseball, softball, golf, and disc golf. Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And don't forget, buying from them is a great way to get new products with great discounts by also bringing in your used items for store credit or cash on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Life-changing research doesn't just take place in outer space. It's also happening right here in Nebraska, and you could play a key role. Solarion, one of the world's leading clinical research organizations, needs healthy adults who are 19 years old and older for a research opportunity. If you qualify, you can earn up to $500 a day for time and travel. Overnight stays may be required. To learn more, call Solarion at 866-213-2965 or visit helpresearch.com/500.
Tailored Landscapes is actively preparing for spring. Things like getting new tree orders, getting equipment ready, and training staff to serve you the best we can. If you haven't already planned, now is the perfect time to figure out a maintenance plan for your yard. We're on the brink of spring cleanups for all of our existing customers and have limited spots left. We trim trees and shrubs when needed and only mulch proper amounts. Give us a call today at 402-432-2572 to set up a meeting with one of our designers and get ready for Tailored Life's grand opening in Bennett.
Now back to the happy hour with Nick Sainert and Enrique Alvarez Clary on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back into the happy hour, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Nick Sainert with you. Rico is down at Memorial Stadium for the press conference with Trev Alberts and the governor, George Pillen, I suppose, is down there as well, talking about this Nebraska volleyball game that's going to happen on Wednesday, August 30th. The Husker football team opens up their season the following night on the road in Minneapolis, playing the Golden Gophers and PJ Flex Squad. Let's bring in one of our good friends of the show. Zack Carpenter of Inside Nebraska joins us. Zack, what's up, man? How's it going?
Man, Nick, I'm kind of sad Rico's not in the booth with you today because I had a little short story for you guys. Wanted to wait until we were on the air to share because, Nick, I saw your tweet. For those who don't know, Nick tweeted out a couple days ago something about he overheard a couple breaking up at a coffee shop, right?
Oh, yeah. Please tell me you don't know them.
No, I don't know them.
Okay.
I just know I know all about that experience. I reconciled a relationship at a coffee shop and went through a breakup in that same relationship, also at the same coffee shop. So I know what that experience was like, and now I'm retroactively thinking, like, God, like, you know, who was tweeting about my breakup back then? Who overheard everything then? So now I'm starting to think some things.
Yeah, well, so that's what's freaky is, like, I did not expect that tweet to kind of get as much traction as it did. Unfortunately, it kind of blew up just a little bit. And now I felt kind of bad because, like, you know this, Zack, like our followers on social media are mostly Husker fans and mostly, sport fans. And so that's kind of the demographic of Twitter that we reach. But when a tweet gets a certain amount of likes, you never know and who likes it, right? You never know who's going to see it. And I thought, oh no, this is going way out of my usual demographic of the people or audience that I usually reach, I suppose. Like, this could get dicey, and I'm just praying and hoping that I don't get a DM from them saying, "Hey, I appreciate if you keep my business off the Twitter sphere."
Yeah, you could open up some wounds there. I mean, you opened up one of my past wounds, and I'm starting to take it out for like 5 minutes. I'm like, I remember that day. That sucked.
Yeah,
it went from being an awesome day to, and 2 months later, just a rough one. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure. Hopefully, the couple involved didn't see it. But
yeah,
well, you kept the name off of them.
Oh yeah, well, I don't even know the name, but the best part, and we don't need to get too deep into this. The best part about the whole entire situation is, from what I could gather, the girl was cheating on the guy, but the guy was trying to save the relationship. And I just sat there going, something's not adding up here. Where this is how this is supposed to go.
That's just rough. That's rough all around. You'd hate to see it.
Yeah. All right. Zack Carpenter of Inside Nebraska joining us here on the happy hour. Zack, just released about, 2 hours ago now, around 11:30, that Nebraska volleyball is going to be playing a game in Memorial Stadium. I believe the one prior to them will be an exhibition game between Wayne State and UNK. Then it's going to be UNL and UNO squaring off, and then a concert to follow. I mean, how big of an event is this? And is it a no-brainer since Nebraska has two road games rather to begin the season?
Yeah, I mean, first off, I think it was Rico who said he was taking a guess at who the TBA artist might be, and he was guessing Jason Deverlo, who was now a recent owner of I can't remember the volleyball team he said, but like, oh, that'd be interesting and fun. But no, it's huge news. Just from a growth of the game standpoint, I mean, John Cook and others have talked about the growth of college volleyball as a sport over the past 2 years. And this is another signal of that, right? And I know Amy Williams had talked about, I think it was like 2 months ago, maybe longer, about the growth of just women's sports in general in Nebraska, with women's basketball and volleyball in particular. How Creighton women's basketball and volleyball are both just continuing to trend upwards, or for Nebraska stay at that upper echelon, and a bunch of other the smaller schools and UNO as well in the state. So it's just another signal of that. And so it's a big day for the sport and for Nebraska women's sport, Nebraska volleyball at both Lincoln and Omaha.
Now, not that it necessarily matters a whole lot. Who do you want to see in the concert? Because I threw out Post Malone because I'm a huge Post Malone fan, but Post Malone in Memorial Stadium would be something special in my eyes.
Man, I'm a good cheat because he's already coming to Omaha, I think in July. I want to see Chris Stapleton.
Oh, that would be good.
So let's just do 2 Chris Stapleton concerts because I want to try and get tickets to that. Actually, funny story, I haven't been to like a legit concert ever in my life where it was just like a country music concert or rap concert, what have you. I've never like full on show before, so I want to get to that one.
We're talking to Zack Carpenter of Inside Nebraska with us. All right, moving on to football here. There's a lot of talk, obviously, about Dylan Raiola, and we'll get to him here in a moment. But there's another guy about 200 and so miles away from here in Carter Nelson, whose recruitment has really blown up. I mean, since February 16th, I mean, Alabama, Georgia, Purdue, Illinois, Texas A&M, Texas, and just a laundry list of others have all come to the table for Carter Nelson's services. I mean, how big is this recruitment getting to where he's becoming priority 1B for Nebraska?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty awesome. I mean, objectively awesome to see a guy from small town Nebraska, especially playing 8-man football, get the sort of national recruiting attention that he's been getting. I mean, it's a little biased, I guess, said objectively, but it's a little biased for me because I grew up in a small town and I mean, less than 3,000 people, less than 3,500 people. So from that standpoint, it's pretty awesome that he's getting that attention. But yeah, I mean, it's showing how you can find talent anywhere. I mean, he's 6'4", 6'5", 215 pounds, he's a basketball star as well. And Alabama is finding him in the middle of small town Nebraska and Michigan, Texas, Georgia now, like you said. And I think it's becoming, like you said, priority 1B or priority 2. I think Dylan Raiola is such a massive priority. I think I want to give him the top slot independently. But number 1 in-state target for sure. I think he takes that precipice. And I think 2024, I believe, is the class that's been sort of hyped up as having being loaded with in-state talent. You're seeing that with Carter Nelson, Danny Kalin, Davon Hall, Caleb Betting, and several others I know I'm going to be forgetting to mention, but it's just another sign of that.
Well, and Zach, although it's pretty early to I'm not asking for a prediction necessarily, but I mean, you kind of feel like this staff has been in the thick of it with all those guys up to this point. I mean, they've figured out a way, and I guess this leads into the next question, to balance the recruitment of Dylan Raiola and try to, be in the thick of that race, but then also stay in communication with Danny Kalin, who's a 4-star quarterback as well.
It's the most fascinating question. I'm really happy you brought that up because for me, when looking at recruiting, especially in the 24 class, that's the most fascinating question in that cycle for me when it comes to Nebraska. And I wanted to ask Matt Rule that at the last press conference, but you can't mention, obviously, per rules, can't mention any prospects by names. The coaches can't.
Yeah.
So it's I had the question worded properly, but going to be saving that up for next time, one of the next times we talk to him, because I'm curious, how do you balance that out of we have our number 1 target at the most important position, number 1 quarterback target, number 1 target, period. We know that guy. He knows it. It's been communicated to him directly. I'm sure it's been communicated to Danny Kalin. So I'm curious how Matt Rule, Marcus Satterfield, those guys would answer that. Like, how are you balancing that out? Because when you're going all in on such a high profile recruitment where Dylan Raiola can wait as long as he wants to pick a school, and there will always be a spot for him at every school in the country. He's that good. But Danny Kaelin, I mean, quarterbacks are notoriously, they're one of the first 3 to 5 commitments in a class. Well, historically, at least recent history. And so it's like you balance out, all right, we're playing the long game with Dylan, but we're also to use a recruiting term, keeping Danny Kaelin warm. But Danny might want to have his decision locked in before the summer or early summer. So it's such a fascinating balance to try and strike for this staff. And I mean, I'm curious how they would answer that question too.
Yeah, and one more thing on Danny Kaelin. What's crazy that our listeners might not realize. Everybody knew the name Zane Flores from his senior year and his recruitment to Oklahoma State. Statistically, Danny Kaelin had a better year last year as a junior than Zane Flores did. So that's definitely one to watch. And I agree with you, Zach. Just such a fascinating angle on how you balance the recruitment and make them both feel like a priority. When, I mean, Kaelin's not an idiot. He understands that Dylan Raiola is the number one player in the country.
Exactly. I think, recruiting is such an strongly interconnected network, and especially at quarterback, these guys all know each other, or at least know of each other, even if they don't know each other directly. So he knows the situation, and as long as Rule and his staff is being forthcoming and being honest and saying Dylan's our guy, however they want to phrase that, but as long as they're being honest, and I have no reason to believe they wouldn't be honest with them based on track record and what we've been hearing out of all these recruiting stories and anecdotes about them recruiting all over the state and all over the country. Real quick, I wanted to tell my own real quick funny story about Zane Flores.
Yeah.
Back in April, I went to the Rivals Indianapolis Camp Series, and he was working out there. This is back covering Ohio State and South Carolina recruiting, so I didn't pay attention to Zane Flores at all. He wasn't an Ohio State or South Carolina target, so I just watched him like working out, and I was like, he's pretty good, and then just kind of logged it away. And then come to find out months later, like Nebraska fans would be sitting there like, yeah, he's good. And then just to find out everything that happened there was just kind of retroactively funny looking back at it.
Yeah, I don't know if it's necessarily funny to Husker fans if you're part of that group that kind of knows how the events played out with him and the coaching staff and then the interim coaching staff. It's just a wild couple of months it was in Nebraska football. Okay, looking forward, Zach, and just a couple more before we let you go. We're talking to Zack Carpenter of Inside Nebraska. Zach, that March 25th weekend, it's shaping up to be huge for Nebraska. Obviously, Dylan Raiola. Now, first of all, he debunked the rumor that he canceled his Georgia visit. He is still visiting Georgia the weekend before on March 18th. And so from a month from today would be that Friday leading into that big, huge recruiting weekend where Dylan Raiola and a list of others are going to be there. I mean, how big is that weekend shaping up? And then how important is it for Nebraska's staff to bring in high quality receivers and targets and guys that would be playing around Dylan Raiola on the field, just so he can kind of get a feel and get to know some guys if he ends up coming to Nebraska?
Yeah, it's a big weekend. I always look forward to, it feels like the top tier schools, they always, in the spring and the summer, they always zero in on one big weekend. I mean, for Nebraska last summer, it was that June 3rd through 5th official visits weekend where they strategized, all right, let's get them all in early. I think it was like 15 official visitors, all on campus at the same time. And that March 25th is shaping up to be that weekend in the spring for the Huskers. And I'm curious what sort of show they'll put on. I'm sure there'll be some sort of scrimmage or fun, like 7-on-7 deal that the team does, because it'll be a recruiting event as well as a legitimate practice, but they'll have some sort of extra flavor in their extra kick. Because I know in the summer at Ohio State, they had one in April, that was a huge recruiting weekend where they had Jeremiah Smith and Brandon Ennis and all the 5 stars from Florida in for a huge weekend. Then they had this 7-on-7 or 8-on-8. I think they even went 11-on-11, like not live scrimmage, but like full on, like full speed. It was really fun to watch. And it was as part of Student Appreciation Day, where everyone got to see it too. Fans got excited, recruits got excited, and they wound up getting commitments from 3 of all 3 5-star receivers that were there, and also who was there that day was Dylan Raiola. So I'm interested to see what Nebraska's going to have in store, something similar or not. But sorry, what was your other question? Just about the receivers, high quality receivers. Yeah, that's something we talked about before. Is if you're prioritizing Dylan Raiola, he's going to want to have some high quality pass catchers to throw to and have reliability at that position. I mean, he's going to know he's not going to have the same type of stock full of talent that he would see from that position at Ohio State or Georgia or USC, even with like guys like Zach Branch over there. But yeah, I mean, I think that's either through the transfer portal or recruiting. Receiver still a hot commodity when you're trying to influence and sort of do a proof in the pudding thing with a guy like Raiola.
Zach, I hate to ask this question every single time we talk to you, but I mean, it's such uncharted waters where Nebraska is at right now. I mean, has Nebraska kind of, with Todd Monken leaving Georgia to go to the Baltimore Ravens and them hiring Mike Bobo, I know the Raiola family is extremely close with Matt Stafford, who went to Georgia, and that's a big reason why Georgia's in the conversation, on top of all their national success, obviously. But I mean, is Nebraska, how far or how long do you see this thing kind of playing out? I mean, could we be nearing a decision in early April after he takes his couple visits?
Yeah, I can't put a timeline on it because I'm not sure. Like, I know all the reports and rumors that Dylan's taking his time. It's going to be a slow burn in his recruitment. They're all true. I mean, I've said myself and several others have, is like, I don't see this going like forever, but I don't think it's going to be wrapped up soon. I've said now for what, month and a half, 2 months, that it was not going to be wrapped in March. There wouldn't be a decision in March, and I'm holding to that. I'm not sure if it'll be wrapped up in April. Either way, I think no matter what the decision is, it's going to be well thought out and, I mean, well vetted. I think I know I've said that before to you guys. The first time when he committed to Ohio State, it was an emotional decision, and then he wanted to take a step back and make sure that he was reassessing and evaluating every detail that he needs to make that sort of that perfect decision. So yeah, Nebraska is a real player in it. Remain a real player in this. Georgia, USC. I've said now for a while, I think USC is sort of when it was shaping up where it looked like it could be Nebraska versus Georgia. I was saying USC is a dark horse, but like the lightest of dark horses. I mean, we don't need to go through Lincoln Riley's track record. Those two, Raiola and Lincoln Riley, are have a strong bond, and it'd be hard not to take USC seriously. But there's other schools involved, but those are just 3 to name right now. It's so fun to talk about the fact of the number 1 overall player in the country who's getting the Patrick Mahomes comparisons, and a kid who has dreams and aspirations of not just being in the NFL, but being one of the NFL's greats. It's exciting stuff. And even though maybe it gets oversaturated and people get tired of hearing about it, it's one of those stories that's deserving of the coverage.
All right, Zach, we'll go ahead and we'll let you go. I look forward to the next time that we talk and I get to ask you that very same Dylan Raiola question at the end of the interview.
Hey, we got quotas to meet, man. We gotta hit them. So I understand.
Hey, Nebraska is a player. That's all we need to know. Nebraska's in the thick of it, and it's February 24th, so we're doing just fine.
Yep, gotta love it.
All right, Zach. Hey, appreciate it as always, man. Have a good rest of your Friday. We'll talk to you later.
I appreciate you guys.
That is Zack Carpenter, Inside Nebraska. Appreciate him as always. Let's get to break. We'll wrap up the week coming up next on the Happy Hour.
Download our app by searching 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day long wherever you are. More of the Happy Hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Tailored Landscapes is actively preparing for spring. Things like getting new tree orders, getting equipment ready, and training staff to serve you the best we can. If you haven't already planned, now is the perfect time to figure out a maintenance plan for your yard. We're on the brink of spring cleanups for all of our existing customers and have limited spots left. We trim trees and shrubs when needed and only mulch proper amounts. Give us a call today at 402-432-2572 to set up a meeting with one of our designers and get ready for Tailored Life's grand opening in Bennett.
Life-changing research doesn't just take place in outer space. It's also happening right here in Nebraska, and you could play a key role. Solarion, one of the world's leading clinical research organizations, needs healthy adults who are 19 years old and older for a research opportunity. If you qualify, you can earn up to $500 a day for time and travel. Overnight stays may be required. To learn more, call Solarion at 866-213-2965 or visit helpresearch.com/500.
Hey, it's Nicklin Hames from Nebraska Volleyball. I hate wasting time in practice, and I want to help you stop wasting your time when you're looking for an electrician. High Electric has been serving the area for over 30 years for both residential and commercial properties. They are experts in everything like remodeling, new additions, hot tub installation, and more. And they take jobs from Beatrice to Omaha and all towns, big or small, in between. Call them today at 402-466-6606 or learn more at high-electric.com.
Too many people believe that chronic pain, allergies, or illness are permanent and something you're stuck with. Novotny Nutrition and Wellness has been proving that narrative wrong for 29 years and changing lives for the better in the process. Their team is trained in the newest, most advanced pain-relieving techniques and ways to deal with toxins, allergies, pollution, and emotion that make you ill. Call today for a free consultation at 531-254-5692. Novotny Nutrition and Wellness, located at 7th and Superior.
Hi, it's Charlie Stone again, and with me on the line, Andy Goodyear, General Manager of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, I know how proud you and everyone at the dealership are to earn the prestigious President's Award year after year, 17 times. Tell our listeners what it means to you and your customers.
Thanks, Charlie. Yeah, all of us are extremely proud to have earned this award, and I want all of our customers to know it's not just earned by one person's effort. It's the entire dealership, sales, parts, and our amazing service department.
17 times. Wow. How does that compare to other Honda dealers?
This award is only given to the most elite dealerships that demonstrate excellence. We really do strive to go above and beyond for the ultimate customer experience before and after the sale, Charlie.
That's why for 2022, Honda of Lincoln is once again Nebraska's #1 volume Honda dealer. Come experience the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business, 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Steve's Garage Doors and Services is under new management, but has the same great service as before. If your current garage door seems outdated or isn't working properly, call their new number at 402-480-2840 to schedule service or get a new door ordered. Steve's can repair most types of garage doors and can always point you in the right direction to get the job done. Give Steve's Garage Doors and Services a call today at 402-480-2840. That's 402-480-2840.
Meeting your goal of having a healthy diet has never been easier than with the Venue at Home Healthy Living subscription. Chef-inspired meals that are health conscious and delivered right to your door every week. All you have to do is heat and eat. We offer delicious entrees, gluten-free pastas, fresh rice bowls, soups, salads, and more. Build your own package as a subscription to receive meals every week, designed to help you meet your dietary goals. Order your custom healthy meal package today at venueathome.net.
Spring sports are here and it's time to upgrade your equipment. But don't go rushing to your big box store. Play It Again Sports is your place to go for all sports equipment for baseball, softball, golf, and disc golf. Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And don't forget, buying from them is a great way to get new products with great discounts by also bringing in your used items for store credit or cash on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. You're listening to the Happy Hour with Nick Sainert and Enrique Alvarez Clary. Presented by Empire Fence and Netting on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Zack Carpenter, Nebraska, for joining me. Good stuff from him as always. It's now time for the crossover. Nick Sainert, Austin Orman, and Eric Strickland with you. A little news out of the, what do you want to call it? The volleyball press conference. The day of August 30th, 2023 has now officially been saluted or is now going to be referred to as Nebraska Volleyball Day. Each school, here's what's interesting. Each school, UNK, UNO, Nebraska, and Wayne State will make $50,000 in revenue off of this game. And here's the kicker. If the volleyball game gets rained out, they move it to Devaney, which begs the question, gentlemen. First of all, hello, Strick.
What up?
First of all, begs the question, what do you do with all the extra tickets? What do you do? Because there's going to be, like, here's the thing, that you're going to sell. I mean, we could put an over-under on it right now if we wanted to.
23,000.
I think it's much more.
Really?
I do. I wouldn't be surprised if it's close to 40. When you bring, if you get a good enough of a concert, you'll get 40.
And so it's everybody, all of those universities are in some form participating.
Yep.
Are they participating in their NIA or Division II?
So it's an exhibition game exhibition match between Wayne State and UNK at 4:30.
Got you.
Then it's a real match between Nebraska and Omaha at 7.
Omaha. Okay.
At 7. And then following the Nebraska-Omaha match, it's a concert.
Wiz Khalifa?
We don't know. We do not know.
Snoop Doggy?
Well, so that's what we were kind of talking about at the start of the show.
Who could it be?
A family-friendly event.
Toby Keith?
That's an option. We thought Tech 9, not necessarily family-friendly,
Yeah,
but
he's local.
friend of John Cook.
Isn't he local?
KC.
Oh, Kansas City.
Yeah.
I know he was around the area.
Friend of John Cook. I don't know what it's going to be.
Flo Rida?
I would love Flo Rida. Singing My House in Memorial Stadium. That'd be pretty electric.
You know who I would like? The Eagles.
Yeah, I mean, like, maybe
I
you
think that would be
go
dope.
rock. Maybe you go rock.
Yeah, or maybe you can do Aerosmith and Run DMC mix again.
Ooh,
like a mix.
What about Rihanna?
No.
You don't want Rihanna?
No, not a pregnant Rihanna. No.
If she wouldn't be pregnant by then.
Yes, she would, bro.
No, she would not. She's done being
She's
pregnant.
already showing.
Yeah, she was showing.
She's a law.
You have Post.
Well, come on. She's not. You're still not pregnant.
No Rihanna.
You're not pregnant after you have the baby.
I boo that.
Jason Derulo.
He's got some local interest.
Yeah, he's in Omaha.
Yeah.
So I don't know. A name texter says the stadium was at capacity for Garth Brooks. I'd say it's going to be about $50,000 or 50,000 people there.
Wow.
Now they said Trev Alberts,
Nick.
so they put the.
But they're not going to be selling no brew, so it ain't gonna matter.
Not as of right now. They did it for Garth Brooks.
Oh, they opened it up.
They didn't have taps. He had cans.
Oh, okay.
But here's the deal: they had it for Garth Brooks, but they sold out within like the first hour.
Well, all they had to do was call Kevin Myers Cork and Bottle,
That's
and
true.
they would have delivered.
They would have delivered.
Yeah.
But they sold out of the Busch Light.
It was good seeing Kevin yesterday.
It was. Thirsty Thursday was on fire. It set my day off.
Yeah.
Like my afternoon, Nick, was started off right.
What about?
And I cooked a steak and had the wine with it.
You
didn't see it? Did you see that steak I cooked, Austin?
Oh, looked so good.
Didn't it look good?
So good.
Bro.
Jealous.
I tore that steak up.
What about, and I've said this multiple times, Post Malone.
It was, guess where it was from, too?
The Mercado.
The Mercado. I'm local, baby.
I know.
I deal with local businesses.
I still have yet to cook up that tomahawk that I got from the
No
Mercado.
way. You need to pass the Dutchie to the left-hand side.
Nope. Sorry, man.
Bro.
Sorry.
You need to go ahead and pass the Dutchie.
We're good. I'm
Discounted
saving
rate.
it. I'm saving it.
That tomahawk looks
I know. Oh, I know they do. I'm saving it for probably for one of the first warm days.
I got a quick question, Nick.
Okay.
Did you see Thompson's travel last?
Double dribble and
not travel, double dribble, super double dribble.
Yeah.
That's the kind of double you get away only on 2K.
Well, that's one you even get whistled for in YMC Micro.
The one where they really let you run half the time.
They let you do everything, but you get called for that double dribble in micro basketball. You got those mesh jerseys. I know I'm not the only one that wore it. Maybe Stricky did it, but I know I'm not the only one that wore those little reversible mesh. It was white on one side with blue lettering, or it was a blue jersey with white lettering.
Oh yeah, bro.
Those YMCA micro jerseys.
I did.
I think I was like number 24 or something. But anyway, that's where they call it, because he like catches it. He puts his palm on top of the basketball, control dribble, picks it up.
By rule, control dribble.
Yes, picks it up, and then goes to the hoop.
And then shot fakes, then drives.
Yes. Unbelievable.
Just crazy.
That's I just
Bad
can't get over it.
officiating.
I can't get over it.
Not just in the Big Ten Conference.
I'm just glad I didn't make it through. Because I say this, Nick. Okay. On his side where the ball was, there's a trail referee.
Yeah.
At the end line where he was, there's a lead referee. If I was the center referee, I would have came in.
That's travel. That was if you watched,
I would have came from all the way across the court and got down.
What's crazy is,
and that's bad mechanics.
If you watch in like Nebraska games at home, like last Sunday against Maryland, if you watch some of the games, some of the foul calls that they made late in the game, it was not from the official
that should have made it.
That should have made the call. It was from the dude standing at half court.
But it was a foul.
And it was clear. And it's like, that guy should not be the one.
Exactly. But I'm glad he did.
Yes.
Because it was the right call.
Yes. And I'm like, what are you watching in that instance to not see or hear the foul?
Yeah.
It's mind-boggling.
The
how
guy
bad
climbs over Breidenbach's shoulders on a shot fake. And he falls down, and you just look at him like,
nope, clean.
And it's
that's
almost
nothing.
a
basketball play.
It's almost an instance of like the guy standing at half court or on the perimeter.
He's like, no.
It's always a late call,
but it's the right one.
It's the right one, but it's always late call because the guy at the perimeter is like, is he really not
Is he
going to
not
call
gonna
that?
call that?
Yeah, really not. I'm
Wait
going to
a
have to
minute.
call that way. He's like,
Yeah.
He starts running in from Narnia saying, that's a foul. It's like, because
he came through the closet.
Yeah.
Wait, he's in the room. He comes through the closet.
He's like, wait. And the guy that got the rebound is already at half court dribbling the other way. He's like, whoa.
Wait a minute.
I thought the guy that was 2 feet from the play was going to be able to call that one.
It happened twice.
It's so
same
stupid.
situation, bro. And the same had to come get it.
Yes.
I just feel that's why I'm like, bro. I'm like, there's no way. How did I not get in?
Man. I'm sure there's some YMCA micro games that you can referee strict.
I'm gonna do something this summer.
Those jerseys, by the way, are still blue and white. Speed Goat says those mesh jerseys, those mesh YMCA micro.
Well, that
jerseys.
shows how long they've had.
We were the Lincoln Lions. I'll never forget our name. Yep, Lincoln Lions. Your boy was posting third graders up down low. I was big
body Nick,
big bone, big body, having my way in the paint. All right, that'll do it for us on the happy hour. Thanks again to Zack Carpenter of Inside Nebraska for hanging out with me during that middle segment. Good stuff there. Make sure you check out the podcast page, theticketfm.com. We have high school hoops tonight, district championship game in the A6 bracket between Lincoln North Star and Pius 10th. Make sure you tune in for that at 6:30. Stick around on the block with Austin and Strick is next. So long on a Friday.
when suddenly you find yourself battling off the germs that cause sore throat. Luckily, you've been training for this moment by staying up to date on vaccinations, washing your hands, disinfecting surfaces at home, and avoiding your face.